always a pleasure to serve the students that are preparing to have some grounding in medicine, different versions of it. Some would want to go into childcare, mother care, gynecology, if you like, etc. So we are going to deal with life and how to manage it. Sometimes it's not too clear. Some may think why a course like critical thinking and practical reasoning should be included as a requirement for, for students taking a course in medicine. But as we proceed, you will see why not only medicine, but also law and several other disciplines in the University of Ghana and its affiliates are required to take a University of Ghana required course called critical thinking, practical reasoning. So yours is tailor-made for your discipline, which is critical thinking, the sciences, specifically the the, the 7th unit of the text. So we will go through them one after the other. Since you are conscious of the fact that it's a 2 credit hour for you, we try to minimize the weight, the burden that you have to carry for such a content. But at the same time, we don't water down the very important uh, required content that you must have to add to what you're doing in your specific discipline. Okay, that's just by way of quick introduction. We'll go through the entire content. I shared the slide ahead of time with you, I think yesterday when I got the contact of your classroom. And I'll be doing that often so that you'll have notes put together on the subject matter. Then I'll share the soft text as well with you, all in the bit to give you a lot of content, but at the same time, you engage it at a relaxed mode. So you are not burdened. Okay, that's how we are going to proceed. If you have any questions with my details, I'm glad to respond to them. I'll share you already have my contacts because I'm on that platform with you there. If you have any question, any clarification you seek, etc., I would like you to post it there. Unless it's very private, they can send it to me directly and indicate that you are a student of family health. It helps me put my responses in perspective for you. If not, then you post on the platform. For example, are we meeting this afternoon? In case it's not clear if we are meeting. Or Doc, you said you would send us the slides for something that it hasn't been done, and I'm fine with it, so that we can serve you well without too much hassle. Okay, so that is by way of introduction. I may want to know a few of you. I see your names during the sessions that we get to meet in person. I hope I can intersperse it with 1 or 2 in persons for this semester. Then we will see ourselves physically. But I've been around for a while, so your seniors there would be able to testify about us if you need to know more. So the critical thinking lecturer, do you know about her, Dr. Miles? She's called Nancy. She says so and so, and she gives so and so examples, so and so and so, if you want that, okay? All those are helpful to you to keep you settled in a bit. All right, so on our slide now, you see the course title and you see my details. And I want to proceed to the next. I would want one of you to read for me. Any one of you may want to read. So if you're willing to keep your hand up, this is the first lecture. It's mainly introductory, and you can see that we are recording ourselves. It's a classroom setting, but so that you can always reference it if you need to, in addition to what I've sent ahead of time. And then also if for some reason we have to verify what was said or wasn't said, it helps us to check ourselves. Unlike a physical lecture for this kind of content, if it passes, then it's gone. Those who may come in later would have to run another lecture. So it's a very well organized online session that we hope will be fine. If I see a hand up, very good. So that's Aaron, the class rep, who would want to read for us. The current slide only shows you some of the terms and concepts, the if you like, the ideas that come to mind when you hear critical thinking, generally speaking. See that knowledge, reasoning, logic, argumentation, inquiry, want to know something, valuation, decision making, etc. Okay. All right, Aaron, please, you can do as the honest. How would you define critical thinking? Go ahead.
Madam.
Go ahead, Aaron. You can hear you. Is it Aaron? Go ahead.
Madam, please. Others are saying they can't join the Microsoft Teams.
I see 22 people plus others that have more than 22. What
okay.
will be the challenge, sir, for those who are not able to join?
They said they have problems with their connections and stuff. I don't really get them back.
Okay, so we are recording. We'll share the recorded session with them, and then we'll see how to navigate that. But there are 22 people plus, maybe even 26 or so online.
Right.
If I count those who are joined as 3 or 4, we can't keep them waiting. Okay, I was hoping that if there were such queries, they will come before we start. So let's go on, and we can share the recorded session and then take queries from them if they still have.
Okay,
whilst we prepare for next week. Go ahead. Who wants to read for us? Thank you, Aaron. Anyone wants to read for us, please?
Madam, please, I'm reading.
Go ahead, Aaron. Thank you.
Okay.
I just saw Morton come in. If I'll keep doing that. So if Morton was one of those who say he couldn't get in, he just did. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Critical thinking is a careful, deliberate determination of whether we should accept, reject, or suspend judgment about a claim, and a determination of the degree of confidence with which to accept or reject it.
Very good. Continue, sir.
The critical thinker is concerned about how well a belief or claim is supported by reasons, premises. Critical thinking helps to expose fallacies or errors in our reasoning.
Good. So if you hear your classwork and you take a close look at the content on the slide, when you hear critical thinking, a lot of things could have come into your mind. But to simplify matters for you, we tell you that it is just a skill, a training that one is given to make the person develop an attitude, the attitude of careful, deliberate suspension. It is something that is deliberately done, and you do it carefully. So you are trained to carefully and deliberately suspend your judgment about matters. Look at that. About decisions, about claims that have been made, whether in medicine, religion, politics, culture, law, what have you. So because our focus is more on medicine, we'll focus on, let's say, medical practice or in gynecology or in managing heart conditions. When you are trained with a skill that makes you carefully and deliberately hold on to your judgment about those claims until you have a good degree of confidence in the justification of it for that claim. You are trained to hold on with what your judgment of that claim. Let's say the claim says, sickle cell anemic, people with sickle cell anemia, for example, from the evidence available so far, I don't know the examples used, but died before 18 years, something like that. There would definitely be supposed grounds for that claim. There should be reasons offered to support that claim. Now, as a critical thinker, your work comes to play. You start demonstrating critical thought. When you have the skill of suspending your judgment, you hold it on until you have enough, and that is where the query is, enough justification to accept or reject that claim about children, about blood pressure, about when a person loses breath for 5 minutes, he or she dies, for example. So you say, oh, but why should we accept that? Could it be different? Could there be a research that would prove this wrong? When you start doing that, asking questions like that, and hoping to find alternative ways of doing things, all in the bid to find justification that guarantees your acceptance of that claim, you are applying critical thinking skills. And so to make it a bit more accessible to you, look at what Aaron read next, the second paragraph there, still on your screen. He says, the critical thinker is therefore concerned about how well a belief or claim is supported by reasons. How well did you support the claim that you made? How well? Or you just grounded it on fallacies? You see, a fallacy then means what? Incorrect reasoning. The grounds, the evidence you are proffering would not necessarily guarantee the conclusion or the claim drawn. Now, on just this slide, therefore, you will see that the critical thinker is concerned about how evidence is adduced to support conclusions drawn. And so, which level of confidence would you give to which level of evidence? That is what we are going to engage throughout the course. And that is why it is important for a discipline like medical student like yourself to engage in. You cannot, because you are dealing with life. So before you accept or reject a claim, you should have a certain degree of confidence. And we want to interrogate the supposed justifications we offer for the supposed claims we make. These ladies' fibroids have so and so sizes and are placed at so and so place. Therefore, there goes the gynecologist or the physician. She cannot give birth. No, then you put it on the folder and put a full stop. We want to ask you, on what grounds are you drawing such conclusions? Are they certainties you are making or probabilities? If they are probable claims, on what grounds, what degree of probability are we to accept? When you say she cannot give birth, this one is a hopeless case. I declare the person, then they say, doctor, I declare, the doctor has declared you so and so. What kind of degree of justification is that? What kind of justification is that given? So we are going to interrogate those. Should we work with that, and to what extent? If it turns out that the research had a challenge, then what? But what if there was no challenge? So we are going to engage those. And I want you to follow gentle, though we don't have any research. People pass well, not just passing the course, but also are enlightened and can apply the skills to their disciplines, the various disciplines in medicine. Okay. Go ahead, sir. You would want to read this also for me, Aaron. If there's someone else who wants to read, just keep your hand up. When Aaron gets tired, we'll call you as well. Go ahead, Aaron. If Aaron is not able to, and someone else is able to now, you may want to raise your hand very quickly and read. I want to take you through the introductory bits before we go to the substantive content for the day. Hala, go ahead. Thank you. So the hand represents Hala, Hania, and Dania, right? So I suspect it's Hala. Hala, go ahead, please. Please go ahead. I am unable to hear you. Okay, if Hala is not able to, it's not audible, let's hear Aaron. Aaron, are you there? Maha, are you there?
Yes, please.
Go ahead, read for me what you see on your screen, please. Thank you.
The critical thinker analyzes, breaks down into constituent parts, statements and arguments, and then evaluates them to distinguish good from bad reasoning.
Very good. Thank you very much. That was well read. So you would notice from what has been read that there are two skills that are at play here. We'll do our first reading assignment after the class, and then you submit. I just didn't want to introduce that early, but look out for stuff like that. The critical thinker analyzes. The word analysis means he breaks down into constituent parts. He breaks the thing down into its component. Okay, analysis. If I say some doctors are rude, it also means I have said some doctors are not rude. Automatically, it means so. That is why you cannot say that, hey, why are you saying that we are rude? If you were a doctor sitting by me and I made that comment. Eh? If I said some doctors are very rude, when you go to them and say, hey, madam, why are you talking about us like that? The question is you and who? I said some. By analysis, when you analyze what I said, if I say women in labor are always like that, it means you are speaking for all women in labor. Yet, what you are saying may not be applicable to all women. If you analyze, so analysis is a skill of breaking down the subject matter into its constituent part. It's a skill. We have to add that to what we know from critical thinking. The other one is evaluation. Evaluate, to judge it. So you compare and then you pass judgment, to place value, evaluate. Okay, it's a skill that critical thinking will equip you with if you go to the training well and get and adapt the tools, the techniques of reasoning, etc., etc. I want you to take note of that. So that was slide number 2. You have seen these slides already if you engage what I posted for you on the class platform that I am on with you. Okay. Now, on our screen now, you see I make a point there. Maybe my lady will read that also for me, then I'll move on to someone else. Go ahead. There are 31 of us now, just for the classes knowledge. Go ahead, my lady.
The critical sorry. The critical thinker does not ask questions, analyze or evaluate just for the sake of it. The
Good.
aim is to respond The aim is to respond to practical problems of existence. If
Well
not,
done.
then the, if not, then the whole act of thinking critically would be worthless. That
Good.
the cause is critical thinking and practical reasoning.
Good. So I think that this is self-explanatory. We don't have to elaborate on anything here. All the tools will give you ultimately aim at dealing with everyday problems of existence. So for medical students like you, if you know how to evaluate, if you know how to analyze, if you know how to distinguish causal argument, the grounds for claiming that something causally brought about the other thing. It was because you took in too much salt. That's why your BP went up. That's a cause and effect reasoning. You did. Now I will do that. What if I may have taken in so much salt, but if you didn't give me the bad news, I may not have had the attack. So how do you diagnose what caused the supposed effect? If there's a food poisoning, supposedly, I say supposedly because you are not supposed to make that claim until you have grounds. And how much grounds can you have except the one that you are able to have empirically? You're handicapped. So when we make projections from what we assume to be the possible causes of things, how we represent it must show that. Now we are going to learn all those skills, all those techniques, reasoning deductively or inductively, verifying, confirmation, proof, etc., with the aim to solve everyday problems of existence in medicine, the sciences, empirical studies for that matter. Okay. And so you have to know that we are not just going to have all those tools and skills just for the sake of knowing modus ponens, if you like, or logical truth, empirical truth, then what? It must aim at solving practical problems of existence in your discipline, whether you want to be a pediatrician or you are a food psychologist or what have you. All those will come together to help you deal with everyday problems of existence. Sometimes the challenge the person has who has come to your institution is not necessarily medicine as in give them medicine to drink. It's medicine as in helping to see how the person sees what he or she thinks is a problem. And that's all. It will distress her. The stress will go away. You don't need to prescribe any medicine. A critical mind must have that. Sometimes a decision about whether to save a life by telling a lie or protecting the confidentiality of your patient, even at the expense of causing harm to the other patient. What do you do? That is not in your precept. That is a critical thinking decision. Sometimes you don't have to prescribe an appetite stimulant for the baby. You just have to suggest to mommy, do you think you would rethink the way you represent the meals for the baby? Because from what I hear from you, I don't think the child has any health condition or the child is lacking some vitamins. No, I think you should stop cutting the food big into the plate like that. Could you give some colorful representation of the fruit, maybe a star-shaped banana, then a triangular shaped, if you like, a carrot and what have you, mix them together and then playfully pick one. Let the child also pick a room. So I pick the triangle, you pick the circle. Let's see who finishes first. Just maybe a first, second, third try. Now the child will enjoy that meal. And then going forward, you don't have to. So a critical pediatrician who knows her stuff as a pediatrician, yes, but also applies critical thought to delivery is a better pediatrician than the one who just knows how to take care of the child and the discipline she has studied, but doesn't have the thinking around it, objectively skills that helps him or her to deliver. That is where we are. And so we hope that we are able to solve practical problems of existence as we move slowly. I would want Annette Delali to read for me. That's my way of checking if you're online. If you are not, it's a markdown. Yeah, and we are on recording. So for some reason you are not able to, at least you are here. Maybe you are speaking, we can't hear. We will know. Go ahead, Annette. You should be here. Otherwise, a markdown straight. You're absent. You have just logged on and you are moving around somewhere, not listening to the lecture. Please read what is on your screen. Sorry. Annette Delali, you have to unmute first. So look at the microphone on your screen and unmute, and then you can read. Whilst Annette is working on that, we would want Ahmed Asher to read for me. Are you there?
Yes, please.
Go ahead. Excellent. Please read for me.
Yes, sir, the course will equip you with concepts, methods, tools, principles, and techniques for establishing and distinguishing logical truth, that is, linguistic certainties, from empirical truth, meaning observation-based contingencies.
Excellent. Well read. Thank you, sir. So I already elaborated on that, and I said the course will give you tools, techniques, what have you. But I just added here that will help you distinguish truths that are based on language. That's what we call linguistic truth. You don't need to observe anything. When I give you such statement, you are able to tell the truth or falsity from the very given statement. You are able to tell. For example, let me ask the class. Suppose I say, so I have some examples there that let me project that they will reference that, distinguishing the kinds of truth that we call logical in nature and the others that we describe as empirical in nature. Empirical means observation based. You see, hear, touch, taste, or smell to establish the truth or falsity. That's empirically based truth. Then a truth that is based on the logic of it, the language you are using. So from the way you are speaking, I don't need to do any observation. I can use the very language to establish truth or falsity. That is a logical truth. Look at example 1. So now we'll use some good examples. Annette, are you ready to read now, or I should mark you down? Please read for me, my dear. Whilst Annette organizes herself.
Hello.
Okay, very good. Annette is ready. Go ahead, my dear. I can hear you. Please go ahead.
I'm currently in the library, so it will be difficult to speak.
Would you want to consider an alternative place in future? Maybe today was the first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. No problem. Let's take Ifua Akomia. Ifua Akomia. Go ahead. Ifua Akomia, are you there? I will need you to interact. Okay, otherwise I would have done a recording and shared it to be a monologue from myself to you. But it has to be a well set out class without any hiccups. The only difference is you are sitting at the comfort of your home, engaging, whilst I sit in my office here and engage. Okay, so I'll take Hilda. I think Hilda will be fine. Hilda Jaman, go ahead, please read for me. We want to look at logical truths versus empirical truths as introduction. We are still introducing you to the content. Go on, my lady, the first one.
Witness at the law court.
Good.
Jail that bachelor because with my own eyes. Witness at the law court. Jail that bachelor because with my own eyes I saw him beat his wife mercilessly. I have video evidence.
And so on. Well done. Well done. So this is the person giving a witness. In other words, testifying at the law court. We are giving you some statements, some scenarios, and we are asking you to do a critical assessment. Why? I just want to show you instances where you don't need to be there to establish the truth or falsity of that statement. You don't need to be there physically. You don't need to know the lawyer, the court, the person who is speaking, this, whatever it is. As soon as you see the statement, you are able to raise a response that makes it either you know it is necessarily true, the word is necessary, or it is necessarily false by the language, by the logic. You see, not by observation. If it's observation, you have to see, hear, touch, taste, smell to be able to establish the truth or falsity. That one we would have called empirical truth. In other words, the truth or falsity is dependent on what? Observation. I could ask you that at the end of class today and ask you to submit a response by morning. Distinguish with an example each. Logical truth from an empirical truth using a hospital scenario. Maybe for 5 points, I can do that. So you should be able to grab that. Sometimes when we speak, the given statement has a logical necessity attached to it, meaning it is either necessarily true already by the way the person is speaking, or necessarily false already by the way the person is speaking, the language of the person's speech. That is the one we call logical truth. Each truth or false is dependent on the logic of it, the language of it. So this first example that Our Lady read for us has that nature. He says, jail that bachelor because with my own eyes, I saw him beat his wife mercilessly. I have video evidence. The lady's cheek is falling down. Look at her eyes, they are bulging out. She bled till, oh, the guy is wicked. Which guy? The bachelor. You say he did what? He beat his own wife and their neighbor. And you have pictures, and you have brought it to court. We're witness at the law court. Now, I want a reaction from the class in the context of our discussion so far. What do you want to say as a matter of by way of reaction? Before I even say anything, raise your hand, please. I reward class participation just in case you didn't know. Joel, Aku. I hope I pronounced your name well. Go ahead, Joel.
Yes, please.
Yes, my lady. Go ahead.
Please, according to the statement, I think a bachelor is someone who is not yet married. So I
Very
don't
good.
see how you have a wife.
Excellent. That's a problem. If you say he's a bachelor, and Joel gets a mark for that on my file, listen.
Thank you.
If you are welcome, if he is a bachelor, you said so. You see, you the witness. You yourself. It's not someone that is insisting that the guy is a bachelor. No. You the one presenting your case. You said the brother is a bachelor. Yet you saw him beat his own wife. And he did it mercilessly. The way he did it is not good cry. This guy has to be punished. Blah, 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 blah. And you brought the lady to court with swollen cheeks, her teeth falling out. With a lot of video evidence. At the time, the way the lady was crying, all those are fine. I'm just using a very almost obvious way of showing you a logical truth, but it's not always as obvious as this. We'll see some more examples as we increase the level of difficulty and polish up our critical thinking skills. You would see it may sound as if it is informative. It is not. It is already carrying its truth value by the way the speaker is speaking, the logic of it. Okay, so we'll polish up. But that is what Joel said. Joel says, but if you say he's a bachelor, then I don't need to know the person and whether he has biceps or triceps, and whether he's strong or weak, and how he beats or not beat. You said he beat his wife. Bachelor beating his wife cannot happen. Can't. That's the problem. It can't. Not on earth, not in heaven, not in hell. Bachelors cannot be their own wives by the logic of it. So you will see that the boy may have beaten a lady, or the brother may have beaten the sister, and must be punished for it, but because of how you presented the matter. And you need to understand why we are giving you these skills, because you may be writing reports to establish that there might have been a beating at home, molestation or something. How you present it matters, otherwise the person will go unpunished. So a bachelor cannot beat his wife. By the logic of it, that is already false. So when I say an expression is either a logical truth or an empirical truth, doesn't mean it is logically true or logically or empirically true. No, truth means it has the value of truth. So if the value of truth is a positive one, we say it's true. If it's a negative one, we say it is false. So the first example Madam just responded to is an example of a statement that you can establish its truth logically. And when we look at it, this statement is necessarily false. Don't do any further and better part. If you take it to the law court, the case will be thrown out of court. Yes. We say yes, next case, adjourned, so-called whatever, acquitted and discharged. And you say, what? You mean this guy did this and the court, because you came to say that he's a bachelor and that he has beaten his own wife. The logic of it, logical truth. You don't need, it's like deduction, what will get you in it 6. If you do a deduction of the reasoning behind this, it is automatically impossible for bachelors to beat their wives. So this didn't happen. But you say, oh, I'll show them videos, oh, plenty. Even the ladies, the pressure, how it went up, the doctor brought evidence. It won't wash, my dear, because of what you said. The logic of it. I think the point is well made. If you look at example 2, and I'll spend a lot more time on that when you get to unit 7, where we discuss scientific theories and pseudo-scientific statements that pretend to be testable, but they are not really, because of how the person spoke. Look at example 2. Let me have someone read that also. So if you are interested in reading, then raise your hand. If not, I'll call you myself. So far, I know everyone who has spoken in class will have a mark on file. Aaron, go ahead. Please read the second example. And then if someone wants to comment on it, I'm glad to take you.
Question.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Question to the rainmaker. So will it rain tomorrow? Rainmaker. It will either rain tomorrow or it will not rain tomorrow.
I don't know if people can see the logical necessity of that response. If I asked you, thank you, Aaron. If I asked you, Dr. Precious, I don't know, Precious is coming on. When she comes, she'll come and hear that I mentioned her name before she got on. Suppose I saw the doctor. My wife is in labor, and I say, Doc, please, will the child be? Okay, I said, Doc, please, will my child be a girl or a boy? And the doctor responds, oh, your child will be either a boy or not a boy. The doctor didn't tell me anything. Because that is necessarily true. The child will either be a boy, in other words, a male or not male, necessarily. If he is a hermaphrodite, he is still a not male. So that response doesn't have any information. It's a higher level. I've increased the difficulty a bit. When we get to Unit 7, it will be clearer to you. Pseudo-scientific statement. A statement that pretends to be testable, but it is not. It is a tautology. Tautologos, necessarily true. Nothing will change it. So that a typical example of that is what Aaron just read in a second. Will it rain tomorrow? I am asking you, my seasoned academic who has gone to learn meteorology, for example, and I'm asking so that I plan my wedding or I plan my party. Look inside the thing and let me see. Tell me, will it rain? If it will rain, then I don't set up my party. I don't plan it for that day. I postpone it or I schedule it for a day that will have a brighter weather. Okay, something like that. So I ask you, tell me that, oh, when I look at it, no, tomorrow it will rain. Then I will plan differently. Or tell me it will not rain. Then I'll stick to that day. You have then informed me. But when I ask you, Bosu, like you, I said, will it rain tomorrow? I said, oh, tomorrow it will either rain or it will not rain. This response I gave you in red there is already true, even if tomorrow doesn't come. Yeah. It's a logical truth. This one is necessarily true, regardless. The first one is still also a logical truth. It is necessarily false. There's a logical necessity attached to the statement. I don't need any observation. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. It is already true that tomorrow it will rain or it will not rain. Why? If tomorrow comes and it rains, what I said is true. If tomorrow comes and it doesn't rain, what I said is still true. I said it will rain or it will not rain. Look at the Ghana, the AFCON that they were playing, that Ghana has gone to mess up nicely like that and come back home. Suppose we're going to play and then you ask Ghana and Cape Verde, will Ghana win the match? So you're a panelist. Some people are going to do their betting. Don't bet, please. But just in case you did, you want to know what the chances are. So those who say they can see into the realms, you can prophesy. You see, tell us when you look into the realms, will Ghana win or not win? And by what scoreline? They say, oh, you give me some $100,000 or something. You have done the bet with your house. What millions? So you don't care. You give him that much. You tell me so that I know how to bet. I said, don't bet. Then you ask the brother that all the skirmishes, he does all that. Then he looks into the pot, looks at you, looks into the realms and tells you, look, when I look into my, my spiritual pot, I think tomorrow Ghana will win or Ghana will not win. What will you do to that brother? That is what is happening over there. You will give him slaps, take your money back. Because before you gave him money to give you information, empirically verifiable statement for that matter, you already knew that tomorrow the possibility is either Ghana will win or Ghana will not win. What you are looking for is information, not a repetition of empty content. What he's giving you as a response symbolized in the second response there on your screen, is a logical necessity. It will happen by force. Logical. This is unit 7. It is pretending to be a testable statement, scientific. It is not. It's logically necessary. So if you wait till tomorrow, it will be true. Whatever happens tomorrow will make it true. If they play well and they do this and that, then Ghana will win. If someone gives you that response, it is already true. Why? If Ghana wins, you say, you see, I told you if they play well, they have played well. If Ghana doesn't win, you say, see, I told you if they play well, they didn't play well. Everything goes. It's a logically true statement. The truth is based on the language. It's not on the observation. Nothing will make it false. I'm sure you got that one also. And so the rest, I think I can walk you through it. So look at example 3. She's the last person who left the office yesterday, so she stole the laptop. Let me see your critical abilities on that also. Who will react like Joel did? Suppose you can't find your laptop, then the security officer walks into your consulting room and says, Doctor, doctor, your nurse, the one who helps you, she was the last person who left yesterday, so she took the laptop. Will you go and call the police to come and arrest the nurse that works with you in your consulting room because you have evidence? Remember critical thinking, what a critical thinker is. Joel's hand is up again, but I think that it's a bigger class. Can I have reactions from you? How will you assess that? Anybody? Daniela, do you want to try? David's hand was up earlier.
Yes,
Well,
please.
okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Daniela, then afterwards, David.
I think the person has no evidence to show that she actually stole the laptop.
Okay. He says that she was the last person who left. That is his evidence. You're not convinced?
I don't think it's enough evidence.
Very good. You see that your response changed? Very good. First, you said he doesn't have evidence. Then I asked the counter. They said it is not enough. Did you see what you just did? You demonstrated critical thinking skill. The evidence they have proffered some. The brother brought some evidence, but it is not enough grounds. Enough is I don't have grounds enough to go and hold my nurse accountable. Why? That's very correct. Now let's interrogate what the various possibilities could have been. So I want to hear from everyone now. Kezia, very good. Very good. That's better. See the hands go up now.
Hello, please can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Yes, we can. I can hear you.
Okay, so I was going to comment on the third one.
Go ahead.
And I was going to say something similar to what Daniela said, that there's
no
not
problem.
enough.
Say it again. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I was going to say there wasn't enough evidence, because even the direction my mind was going in was, if the security officer saw her as the last person to leave, technically he's the last person to leave as well.
Excellent.
Because
Very
he
good.
saw her.
That's an
so-
excellent. Yes. If you saw that person, then you are the lastest. If there is any word like lastest. Very good. So you see, it is not enough to just have evidence. I mean, sometimes the doctor herself may have left the laptop in her car. Oh, yes. Sometimes inadvertent. It was intentional. At other times, intentionally, because she wants a new one. A company will replace it. Maybe insurance. You don't know people is, just drive their car into a ditch somewhere because they want a new car. So insurance can buy a new one for them. So the possibilities are many, and that is why you have to learn to suspend judgment. And so the example 3 there, all is part of our very elaborate introduction to settle you in. So when we start doing topic 1, declarative, imperative, what have you, you know what the aim is. Yeah, raw material, ingredients that we'll use to work towards doing such assessments around this. Okay, so you are all right. Kezia is right. I saw several other hands up, telling us that the fact that someone is the last person who left the room is not enough justification that therefore that person stole the laptop, the missing laptop that we are looking for. Look at example 4. Maybe I would ask David to read now. David's hand has been up for a while. Okay. Ahmed Asher, you wanted to say something, Ahmed? Or you wanted to read for me? I appreciate. Maybe you were reacting to the earlier comment. Go ahead, sir.
Is there a question, please?
Sure, please go ahead.
No, I said you said that we should raise our hands if we want to answer. That's why I raised my hand. Sorry, please.
Okay, so you still want to add something to what was said earlier? There is more to say. What the possibilities would have been, or yours has been captured, eh?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. That's fine. Now, if we look at the screen now, we see example 4. And that one always gets at me because we commit that a lot. It's almost all over the place in textbooks, in political discourse, at the medical setting, and I want to make that relevant to you. We do some training for our folks just across your place there, the military folks. Sometimes people think they are communicating reasons. They are not. They are not giving you reasons. They are just repeating themselves. We call it tautology, being tautologous or being secular, going in circles, or begging the question. See, when we say you beg the question, it means you are using the very claim to support itself. A typical example is what is going on there, but it's subtle. Look at the screen. It says, example 4, she is moral because she leads a morally upright life. She is moral because it's supposed to lead us to the reason why the person is moral. The reason. Give us what has made the person moral. You say she's moral because, and we are all looking for the reason. You say because she leads a morally upright life. But you just repeated yourself. Oh, I'm going to pursue development for the nation. Then the news anchor or the interviewer says, what do you mean by development? Can you explain what you mean by development? The thing you want to pursue for the nation. So development is when you develop the nation and embark on developmental projects so that the nation becomes developed like the developed nations. And everybody's clapping for this fine politician. And little me, I'm sitting in my corner there and I'm embarrassed. He said nothing. He told you nothing. He just repeated himself, went in circles, begged the question, was tautologos. Suppose one of you asked, Doc, so what is critical thinking? So critical thinking is when you are critical about how you are thinking. What have I said? I didn't say anything. In the same way, then, you should know that your clients, the people that will come to you with their health conditions, cannot go home receiving tautologies from you. You just repeated yourself. You went around, you didn't give them content. This is the problem with this is it goes round in circles. Example 5 then is centered on causal reason, cause and effect reason. As soon as she entered the room, the light went off. So she caused the light off. This is also trivial. I use a trivial example. When we go into medical practice, you will see that we try to find similarities, something that is running through a common thread, running through the antecedent conditions before we draw a supposed conclusion that the effect is as a result of the suspected cause. Okay. So for medical practice, we take our time before we claim that something caused something. But I use this trivial example because I want you to get the drift. Say, oh, as soon as that black cat crossed our path before we moved, the car headed straight into the ditch and we got into an accident. It is the black cat. They exude bad omen. Perhaps, yes, but what is the grounds? Could it have been a failed brake? Could it have been if you checked your brakes as well? What caused COVID-19? What is the reason for constant relationship issues? Could it be the armpit? Perhaps you're not treating it well. Could it be your bowed mouth? You're not appreciative of gestures from the brothers or the sisters? So how do we do a causal assessment? Cause and effect reasoning. What could be the suspected cause, the probable cause of that food poisoning? Because they all ate from that wache joint this morning. Wache is one of the staples in Ghana. They all ate wache this morning from that joint. One person got the food poison. So that one person's poisoning, before you say it is that wache that caused it, you have to have done some assessment. So you see that in Unit 9, when we get there, we will look at the method of agreement, the method of difference, the joint method of agreement and difference, and concomitant variation. These are big words, nothing much. Don't let them overwhelm you. When we get there, you see the twists and turns you put to your diagnosis before you, as a seasoned physician, you would say that, I think I suspect the milk. Even that, you see how I presented it, I suspect the milk. Maybe you are reacting, you have some allergy to the milk. Let's take the milk out for a while and observe and see. That's a good, fine doctor. Not the one that say, it is the milk. Because it might not be the milk. It might just be the bowl from which the milk was served. The person may be reacting to the ceramic, whatever. It is always never a certainty when you are dealing with cause and effect reasoning. Never. Because the possibility of underlying factors that have been overlooked, you will see that causal fallacies, causal errors, post hoc, ergo propter hoc, confusing cause with effect, overlooking a common underlying factor. A lot of people got COVID, they didn't die. But others got that same COVID and they died because, like you the physicians would say, there were underlying factors that facilitated, the push to the other world. You have to know how to therefore diagnose cause and effect. And so you can't say because she entered the room and the light went off. This one is obvious. I mean, it's not something anyone. So she caused it. She may have caused it. There are spiritual things, I believe them, but she may not have had anything. Why is there the magnetic force in the person's system? So how we diagnose cause and effect will be captured in Unit 9. And then, so I will look at my bachelor friend gave up his bachelor's to fix bachelor's. You see what is happening? It's a play on the word bachelor. When I used it in the first instance, my bachelor friend gave up his bachelor's. All right. I hope you can hear me. And we went off for some few seconds. Aaron, am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Yes, please. I stopped where I got to fix because I saw that I was off for a minute, but I'm back in. Listen, if you don't ask for clarity, the person will move from bachelor, meaning a button. All right. So before we know it, the person has moved from bachelor, meaning a button, to bachelor, meaning an unmarried adult male, to bachelor, meaning a degree. When people oscillate, move from one of the meanings to the other without signaling to his or her audience. He's playing on the word. And I can give you several. I'll give you one scenario right now and see what you make of it quickly. Then we are ready to launch into the tools themselves, one after the other. Okay. It is called equivocation, being equivocal. You are ambiguous in how you are using the word. So it creates equivocation. It creates double vocabulary in the minds of the one hearing you because of how you are moving from one of the meanings of the word to the other without signaling to your audience that now I'm using bachelor as an unmarried man. The next minute, it will be bachelor as a button that you use to fix dresses. And then the next time, it is bachelor as a degree that you earn in the university. If people play on the use of language, you have to be a critical mind to call it out. Otherwise, the person will exploit you, manipulate you. It can be something having to do with will, someone's inheritance or something, and you are supposed to sanction that as a medical doctor to help them make a decision at the police station or at the law court. Equivocation, if it is not called out, can lead to manipulation or exploitation. A critical mind must look out for that. And so when we get to that one out, but the example I said I'll give is, suppose I said I'm looking for a responsible person to take up the task of a class rep for us. And then Aaron says, oh, if you are looking for a responsible person, then I'm the one, because in the school I was in before I came to family health, whenever something got missing, they said I was responsible. I see the reactions now. Now, I don't know if you got the drift. It's equivocation. I'm looking for a responsible person to be our class rep. Aaron, are you there? Because you react to that.
Yes, I'm there.
You don't like that example, don't worry. That's how I am. But it's easier to connect with that. Look at that. So I said, I want a responsible person to be our rep. Then Aaron says, oh, if it's responsible you are looking for, then I'm the one. Because when I came from the school I was in before I came here. Whenever something got missing, they said I was responsible. Do you realize what would have been the problem with Aaron's response? It would have meant that Aaron is saying that the first use of the word responsible coincides, agrees with what he means by responsible. These are two different uses, meanings, connotations of the word responsible that has been played into each other like that. I want a responsible person means I want someone who will be up to the task, will be on time, will organize a class well, will take up the roles that a class rep must make sure things are done on time, responsible in that sense of it is what I'm looking for. Then he says, well, then I'm the one. Because whenever something got missing, then they said I was responsible. That second use of responsible is I took it. Or I made the theft up, okay? That is not the one that I'm looking for. If you went for an interview, you say, I want a responsible person to take up the role of a receptionist in this company. You say, oh, then I'm the one. Responsible. Look at my CV. Whenever something got, this I was responsible. You just got yourself a sack out of that company. You don't get a job because of equivocation. Another very trivial example to build you get to know it first, then we increase the level of difficulty. It says, Zainab is madly in love with Apu. Let me look for names. Okay, well, you are now getting to know each other, so let me not cause any trouble. I would have looked for two names on the screen to use because I see Daniela and Daniel. And I see Esther and Frank. So I would have done an online, but let's move on. Zainab is madly in love with Abu. And mad people, apologies, I want to use mad because I want the repetition of madly and mad so that we can create the equivocation. Normally, I would say mentally retarded or mentally sick. That's more friendly and respectful. But it is just because we want to create and see and show the equivocation. Okay. So Zainab is madly in love with Abu. And mad people must be institutionalized. Therefore, the person concludes that then Zainab must be institutionalized. because she's madly in love with Abu. And mad people have to be put into a safe custody, put them in a hospital somewhere and secure them there, because if you let them go out, they might cause harm to themselves or someone, because they have mental ailment. So it is important to institutionalize people that are mentally sick, mad, for that matter. But look at how the person is mixing, confusing, moving from Zainab being madly in love with Abu to the point of saying that and mad people have to be institutionalized. Therefore, Zainab must be institutionalized. You see that Zainab's madly in love with Abu, mad there. It's not the same use of the word mad as we have in the other one, mentally sick people being institutionalized. Therefore, equivocation occurs when people, you see that in Unit 3, that's what I've just done, like that. Eh? People move from one of the meanings of a word to the other and make it look as if, because the word is the same, the different meanings also coincide. When you are doing that, we're creating equivocation. We'll see some equivocation on the word law, on the word freedom, when we get to that unit. And then it will enrich our knowledge of critical thinking even better. The very last one is also an empirically verifiable truth, one that is based on observation. Can I have one of you read? I'll take a sip of water myself. So I think I can call Alvin Adai now. Alvin, okay, Precious's hand is up. Precious, read for me first. Then Alvin, be on standby. I've seen Daniel's hand as well. I've seen Sichibia. Very good, Kwame. Very good, very active class here. Keep it up. Go ahead. And even Peter. Did I pronounce your name well? I think I did. It's Peter or Pella. Peter. Go ahead. Go ahead, my friend. I called one of you earlier. Please go ahead.
Hello, Miss Auntie.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
The traffic was intense yesterday, and the day before that on that stretch. So I am not going by that route today because it will certainly be the same today.
Very good. Well read. Now let's diagnose together, class. So I will take Daniel. Daniel, do you want to comment on that? Suppose your friend or I told you that, I'm your lecturer, I told you that, oh, the traffic was intense yesterday, so today I'm not going that way because it will certainly be like yesterday. What are your possible reactions to that? Daniel, Kwame, Sechibia, Pella. Daniel, go ahead. Yeah.
Madam, what do you say?
I was just saying that, how would you react if I said what I've said in example 7? That because yesterday the traffic was intense along that line, it means that tomorrow too, it will certainly be like that. Daniel, should we let someone help you for a minute?
Yes.
Then yes, please keep your attention with us, okay? We want you to do well. I want everyone to do well. So please keep your attention with the class. Go ahead. There was a hand that I was going to call. I think it was Alvin. Alvin, go ahead. I've seen a star as well. When I mention it means I've seen it. If I don't get to call you, I put the back down file for you because you wanted to talk. You just didn't get the opportunity. Go ahead, Alvin.
Yeah, there is no certainty that there's going to be traffic today. I just working based on the assumption because it was intense yesterday and the day before.
Good. Excellent. And you see, sometimes it's like, oh, but dog, this one, everyone. It's not true. Everyone doesn't know that. People work based on how yesterday has been. So they think tomorrow too must be like yesterday. But tomorrow need not necessarily be like yesterday. These guys who come to you wearing trousers and all polished like that with their hair trimmed this way and wearing rings, they break heart. This is all one advice. They break hearts. So be careful. If you ask her on what basis is she making that or giving that advice, she'll tell you, oh, but didn't you see Yahweh's guy? That's how he was. And even Nancy's guy, the same thing. So what? So guys that come with rings on and trim their hair, they break hearts. This is not a certainty. And we are very conscious of that. We want to help ourselves work with grounds, justification. Where we know that it is difficult to have established certainty, we work with what we think we found out, but we work with it with a pinch of salt, knowing that what we thought we have found out could be false. That's what scientific enterprise, like what you people do, thrives on what? Search and research. You understand research? Research just means you searched for something and found something out, and then you go back to search again. It is a researching. That's science thrives on that. You never finish searching. The day you say you have finished doing research, then there's no science. If it's empirical study, you search and research and research and research till thy kingdom come. Why? Because what you found out could have been false, may have changed, may have improved, may have been not exactly what you thought you knew. That is why you cannot have a conclusive attitude to a scientific. Science just means empirical study. We'll get there shortly. Not today. I mean, subsequent. Science, empirically, observation based. That's why I showed you logical truth versus empirical truth. Because you would thrive more on the type of truth called empirical truth. If you're dealing with empirical truth, you have to wait and see what will happen tomorrow. That's what your friend just told us. Alvin just told us. He says, you cannot assume that because yesterday's traffic was intense and the other one was intense, therefore tomorrow too necessarily, certainly, by force, will be like yesterday. No. Tomorrow may be different. The president may come and catch a sword there, so they will block all the traffic to the other direction. That place will be free. As soon as the president finishes and leaves, you will be shocked. The whole place is free. Or the Queen Mother of Ga traditional area may pass off. She's dead now. I mean, she's gone to the other world. And so they will block all cars. They say, no car should move. So in the evening, when they allow cars to move, no traffic anywhere. A journey from La to your place there, that could have taken maybe 30 minutes. Now, 3 minutes, you have already there. Everybody's shocked. What happened? Something can stop what you thought. It's a certainty. When it is this kind of statement, see that. So this is an empirical truth. It is not a logical one. That is why you can't associate certainty with it. You can't say it certainly will be like that. Now someone will say, Doc, but sometimes when we speak that way, we don't mean it. It's just the way we speak. We are getting there. Say what you mean and mean what you say. We'll get there shortly. Because the critical thinker looks at what you are saying to get into your mind. Before we do that though, this slide tells you something. And so we can let friends read. Kwame, can you read this for me, please? Thank you. So Chibia, be on standby. Josephine, Daniel, Esther. All of you, please be on standby. Kwame, please read for me. Good job. I think I'm enjoying your engagement. The class is engaging. It's just the first lecture and you're already well engaged. Keep it up. Go ahead, sir.
Notice, therefore, that critical thinking is topic neutral.
Good.
That is, it transcends disciplines, cuts across disciplines, applies to all academic disciplines. Every aspect of everyday life, example, medicine, law, politics, religion, culture, military, etc.
Well done. I don't think we need to explain that. That is why you are medical folks, you are doing it. Before long, we will be with the military folks. Before long, we are with bankers. Before long, we are with lawyers. Before long, we are with sociologists. Yeah. Why? Because the scale of thinking critically and reasoning practically, all the details, the instruments around that are useful for all disciplines. That's why we say it is neutral to the topic. Critical thinking skills are neutral to the topic. Every topic will use it, will need it. Even the church, will you tell a lie to save a life? You are not supposed to tell a lie. But looking at the Holy Scriptures, okay? And yet you're not also allowed to set up someone to be killed. You cannot kill. or aid in killing someone. So what do you do if a thief runs into your auditorium as a preacher? At the time we were preaching, and the theme of your message was, tell the truth always, the Lord will deliver. Amen. And everyone say amen. Just then, the brother runs into your auditorium holding the gadget, iPhone, whatever, run into your building. Just when you want to say, I went to steal your phone, they are coming to catch me. The guy enters the place, people enter the auditorium. A mob, if you look at how they are angry, wielding machetes and fire stuff here. If you say he's here, the guy will become obituary in no time. But if you don't tell the truth, you have just lied. What will you do? Critical thinking. There's no time to even deliberate. You are driving on the highway. Someone is in your car, a pregnant woman. No, the one who has a COVID vaccine, a cure for it, something like that. Even COVID is not too scary now again. I think give me something SARS or something that is killing, and he has the vaccine. He just has to take it to the next village there and drop it in some water body there, and then the composition of that water body and that thing can now give us something that will take care of the dying world. He's in your car, you're driving him to that place. On the highway, speed to make the time. Then a pregnant woman with triplets in her tummy finds her way looking for herbs in the bush there, and then she's in labor. So she's in the middle of the road. You are blowing the horn, honking at it, because the speed at which you were driving on a highway. You are right. The driver is an expert. You should drive that way on a highway. But the lady too is in labor. And labor pains will not allow you to hear anything and behave rationally. So she hears the people and says, oh, let me be, get away from there. And she's in pain and blood is oozing out and she needs help. You can't break the car. If you do, you are inside the ditch with the guy with the person or the cure for that deadly disease. If you don't break, you are killing someone having triplets in the tummy. You don't know what they are going to be. What will you do? Critical thinking. It's not anything having to do with your expertise as a driver. That one is a competency of your discipline. You see that? Just like the competency of the lawyer, the competency of the military man, the competency of the doctor. You have your competencies in the discipline, no problem about that. But when it is time to make decisions and judge matters and respond to problems of existence, it's a critical thinking thing. What will you do? So your predecessors, I'm saying, I'll leave the wheel and say, Jesus, take the wheel. And then whatever happens after that, I'm not accountable. But you can think around that. So it is neutral, the skills we are going to give you and engage together, polish up. Some we have already, we just have to polish them. Are neutral to the topic. I want that to sink in. So you will see that we are doing this training sessions for all the other courses and life in general. Okay. When you tell the hairdresser, let's have some few practical examples. Ladies, if you go to the one that polishes the hair, or the barbering shop guys, and you say, oh, let's do the ladies, so please put my pony on my forehead. I mean, when you style my hair, put the pony on my forehead. So the lady says, I'll do that for you, but why? So, but that is what everybody's doing. That's what everybody's doing. Have you seen the size of your forehead? You don't look at your own forehead before you went checking what everybody's doing. Are you everybody? The reasoning around it is sick. You're appealing to what everybody does, but everybody may be wrong. Everybody voted. When I say everybody now, the majority voted for someone. 4 years after, they said that person was a wrong vote. They did. They shouldn't have voted for that person. So you must have rational grounds for claims you make. Not everybody said so. So you are following. Oh, this one there, it came from so and so place. So it is the best. Really? But it could have come from there and still had a challenge. So it's not enough justification. I'm taking from your colleagues who use the word enough. It's not enough to say this one was imported from so and so place. Therefore, that's cheap reasoning. It could come from there and have a problem as a result of even handling or labeling. You could have a mislabeling of drugs. unintended, coming from a very, respectful source. But mislabeling could occur. So you have to, as a critical mind, find reasons, grounds for the thing. Don't say because it came from you, as for these people, their thing is no good. It may come from them, be very good. That particular one, that particular brand of medicine could be very good. How do you measure that? Functionality, suitability for the weather here, efficacy in terms of cost effectiveness. There are drugs that are very effective, but it cannot be bought at places here in this part of the world. It would have cured maybe that condition, not even cured or even, restricted its effect. But the thing is, $1,200 or something, converted in Ghana cedi here. How many can afford it? You see that? So instead of saying, oh, it came from here, so that is what we should bring in as a policymaker in that company, maybe you want to think of efficacy, functionality, accessibility, availability, weather condition. That is critical mind at work. So that if you import a few of those that the high class persons may be able to, procure, it's fine. But reach out to others. The thinking that goes into it is not on a silver platter. You have to have been trained, topic neutral. Any questions before I move on? We still have some few minutes, then I'll wrap up. So a critical thinker, look on your screen, is better at decision making because he or she is less gullible. You can't push her around. And then she'll carry, everything hook, line, and sinker. No, she will query. She will ask for clarity. Can't we adopt this method instead? Can we use a more demonstrative way of, engaging our client? Can we make the learning on brushing of teeth with fluoride and water be a bit more fun-filled for these students? I'm talking about maybe want to show children why they should brush their teeth often. Are you going to stand before the child and say, you see the molars and the premolars are jumping here and they did that, and because of that, the cavity, the child will look at you and be scared. 3-year-old. Can we have a fanciful way of, like the way the Montessori's engage? This is doctor coming and say, today we are all going to wear our gowns, the white one. And everybody makes their own gown. By the time we go through the ostensive, we look at types of definitions. We need to, the next topic, God willing. I think I'll share some more slides with you. By the time the student goes through how you are giving meaning to them, they would love to brush their teeth, generally speaking, unless they're recalcitrant ones. Show them a rotten teeth, a make-believe one. Put that one there. Say, see, if you don't brush your teeth, this is how your teeth will become. It's more efficient and impact than when you come and talk plenty English, quote and unquote. So why should we be critical thinkers? You are less gullible. You take things with a pinch of salt. You suspend your judgment. You are patient. The sister comes with scratches all over her body. And so a very passionate female doctor like myself will quickly write down and say, no, the way that the beatings were too bad. Can you hold on? Because the lady can beat the guy at home and then make herself look that way. And because she's a lady and you think that it is often the men that beat the women, you will not do the necessary due diligence. And you will support something that is not grounded in your field because you just saw scratches on the sister. And for all you know, she's the one who has beaten the guy. The guy just can't talk. It's a cultural thing. He cannot talk. He's beating the guy SRAM. A brother comes out and says, you were. When she comes to the hospital to make a complaint, that look, you do the diagnosis, there's a little twist here and a little scratch here, and conclude that she had signs of molestation or beatings. So we suspect whom, blah, blah, blah. And it is as if she's the victim. I'm talking about making assumptions. You shouldn't be gullible. You must be open-minded. Don't follow the crowd. That's point 2. On your screen. You'll be an effective communicator. You make impact in your audience. You have to have that skill. they might come say, we don't even want to continue with the relationship again, so we want to abort the baby. Oh, is that so? What's the reason? See, the guy is the worst guy. The lady is this, that. You're a critical thinker. You know how to clear off the baby if they don't want it. But you may want to engage. And by the time perhaps you engage with an open-mindedness and the attitude of trying to respond, to solve practical problems, open-minded way, by the time you finish, maybe there will be clarity on what the issue really is. The people need to talk. And they might go back home wanting to keep that beautiful child. Okay, if they don't want to, they will still have good grounds why they don't want to. And then you can do your work as a medical doctor. The point then is a critical thinker is equipped with a skill of what effective communication. You could tell the woman or the guy or the patient. I use those examples a lot. Or the one who doesn't want to continue living any longer. Things that these medications, when we just take off the plugs, let me go, Tunisia, okay, and stuff like that. Maybe being an effective communicator can give the person hope. Not a hopeless hope, no. 4, he's an invaluable problem solver. I think I've given you some good reasons for that. And so on your screen now, we are wrapping up on the introduction. Open-mindedness and inquiring mind and analytic skills, now they are clear. These are skills that are developed in a critical thing. Evaluative skills, communication skills. You become an effective speaker. You reason soundly based on analysis. You are good at bringing clarity to concepts, conceptual clarity. You can recognize, you can diagnose and solve problems for the work environment and everyday life. I want you to have that. Any questions? Good job. So we'll do some few readings and go. Sechibia, your turn to read now. Tanya, I have a mark for you now. Kwame, I have a mark for you now. So Sechibia and then Josephine and next Esther. Sechibia, please read what is on our screen for us. Thank you.
Okay. Humans are beings that think. Our thoughts are often captured or expressed in language. Since we may never know a person's thoughts exactly, we depend on what a person says to determine what he or she had in mind. Good. So, sentence-shaped thoughts means our thoughts shaped into sentence.
Very good.
Should I continue?
Yes, please read that.
Okay. Unit 1 seeks to get students to understand the need and how to subject our thoughts and that of others to study. To scrutiny or to study. Well done. To scrutiny. So you see that yes, please. Thank you very much. So the first topic, you see that I've done the whole course in a skeletal way in our introduction. So now you see that when we take unit by unit, we are going to pick the ingredients one after the other. We're going to prepare palm nut soup. So we have some pepper, we have some tomatoes, we have this. We say this one cut it, this one chop it, this one mash it, this one blend it. Then we have them, and then finally you see that by the 5th unit or so, 5th week, whatever, we'll be putting them together to reach our goal. Okay, and so unit 1 will focus. When I say unit 1, I just mean lecture 1. The first content proper. You see that it will be focused on language and its use. We say why? Because when people speak, they have something in mind that they are trying to put across. So we get into critical thinkers now. We get into the minds of people by looking at what they said. We are not witches and wizards, so we will enter into your mind by spiritual machinations. No, we use what you said to get into your mind. So some biblical scriptures, the Bible, for instance, says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mind, the mouth speaks. What is abounding in your heart is what comes out. If the police heard you say to a brother, God forbid, that what you have done to me, I'll kill you. If I get you, I'll kill you. And the next day they found the person dead somewhere. You are the one they will arrest. When you come to arrest, you don't say, oh, Look at my screen now, but I didn't mean that I'll kill him. I just said it in jest. Really? You don't say things like that. So, but I didn't mean it. How do they trust what you are saying now? That's the problem. Because you may leave their office and go and tell your friends, I told them I didn't mean that I'll kill him, but I was lying to them. Just like you said, I didn't mean what I said when I said I'll kill him. The same way, when we let you go, you say you go and tell others, I didn't mean that, I didn't mean it. To go on ad infinitum. So you say what you mean and you mean what you say. And that is why critical thinking dwells so much on language first before we start reasoning. And so far, I'm sure you can tell. So I put something on the screen for you to be guided by that. And so to get into the minds of people, we look at their language. When we speak, keep looking on your screen. When you speak, sometimes the intention is to seek information. I am speaking, I've said something. How do you get to know what is in my mind? What is my intention? Our sentences shape our thoughts. That's the point. Sentences shape the way we are thinking. So when I say something, you are able to get into my mind to know what my intentions are. If I say, where is Kojo? Kojo when? Where is Kojo? My intention, from what I've said, you can read my intention. My intention is I'm seeking information. I'm looking for information. Okay, we call such speech acts, such sentence-shaped thoughts, we call them what? Interrogatives, questions. When the police arrest someone, they say they're going to interrogate the person. They're going to seek information from the person. So all the fine examples you have on your screen are very good examples of interrogations. Where is your mother? Typically in Ghana and some parts of Africa, when you say, where is your mother? They say, mommy, someone is calling. I didn't say call your mother for me. You didn't read my intention. I said, where is she? Tell me she's in the room. If I want you to call her, I'll tell you, call her. That's another type of sentence shaped thought. Okay. The first one seeks information. Where is the classroom? Don't say, hey, Aaron, Doc is calling. I didn't say call him for me. I said, where is he? Tell me, oh, Doc, he's getting the marker. Okay. Maybe that's all I want. I just want to know where he is. I want to know that he's around to be in the lecture. But when I say, where is Aaron? And you go and call him, you have confused my thought. You didn't get my thoughts. Okay. Sentences that shape our thought. Interrogative is one of them. What is he saying? It seeks information. Now, when I say, how old are you? But you don't say true or false to that. That's not a true or false matter. So you will see that interrogatives don't have a truth value. That means they can't be either true or false. If I say, is she your mother? You don't say true. Did Kojo travel? False. How old are you? True. No. So interrogatives do not have a truth value. I think that is straightforward. So I'll move on quickly to the next one. The next type of what? Sentence-shaped thought. Thought that is shaped into a sentence. That's all. One of them is interrogatives, questions. They seek information. The second one is what is on your screen. May I have, thank you, Sechibia. Josephine, read for me and then Esther will be next. Good, you are there. Hey, you people are all there. I thought you were running away, but when I call you, they are there. Very good, go ahead.
Imperatives.
Yes.
Command, request, directive, instruction. Refer to sentences expressed to get someone to perform an action.
Excellent.
Example. Number 1, take off your cap. Number 2, raise your hand. Number 3, pass me the checkbook. Number 4, could you direct me to the library? Notice that
Hold
example
on.
4.
Lady, hold on for a minute.
Okay.
Because there's something I want to comment on before you read that one. So thank you very much. The obvious ones are the 1, 2, and 3. They are straightforwardly imperatives. If you don't want to say imperative, look at that. It has several names: command, request, directive, instruction. They all refer to the same thing. They are imperatives collectively. Because when you hear me speak that, you will act. It makes the person act. So imperatives call for action. It calls for the person to act. When you hear an imperative, the intention of the speaker is telling the one hearing him or her to act. It's action. Okay, so take off your cap. You take it off. Sit down. Underline the correct answers. Take the wrong ones. Call a taxi. These are all imperatives, straightforwardly, because they are not contentious. But the example 4 on your screen now, and if all of you could read, I would appreciate. So unmute and read, all of you, and then we'll all mute again. Let's read example 4 together. Go.
Could you direct me to the
Very good. Very good. People are there. I wanted to know
Hey,
if you were
madam,
there.
madam.
So the whole class gets a +1 now.
Yes,
Now,
madam.
yes,
Madam.
yes, you were all there. I thought you were sleeping. Okay, I will come there and give them
Oh,
Hey,
a
K,
madam.
K is sleeping. K is sleeping.
All right, so I just muted all. Now, if you look at example 4, it says, could you direct me to the library? Could you direct me to the library? Now, when someone says this to you, you won't turn and say, yes, I could direct you to the library. No, you will direct the person. You are in your building, then someone enters it. I mean, family health, you have a fine vicinity. So someone enters your main gate and sees you and says, hello, madam, please, could you direct me to your OPD? Would you say, oh, yes, I could direct you to the OPD? No, you don't say that. When he says, could you please direct me to the OPD, outpatient department? You say, oh, the OPD is there. Just turn right, left, go up there. That's the OPD. You do. Even though the speaker said, could you direct? Could you pass me the checkbook? Would you close the door when going out for me? Should you not take off your cap when talking to your father? There's expressions come as if they are asking you a question, because it carries a question mark. Look at it. Example 4. Yet the intention is not to seek information. The intention is a polite way of speaking to you to do. That is the one we call requests. So it is still an imperative. Look at it. It's an imperative, but a polite imperative. Could you direct me to your library, please? If you met me on the way, I say, hey, excuse me, sir. Good afternoon. Please, could you direct me to your library? You see that, you say, oh, the library. Okay, that one. Go straight there, climb up. It is the 3rd floor up there. Yeah, that's the library. Yet the person said, could you direct me? So what is the point there? Now, my lady can read the last paragraph. There was a point we're trying to show you before she reads, and that point is made. Note before. NB. My dear, please read for them.
Okay. Notice that example 4 is explicitly interrogative, but implicitly imperative. The speaker politely requests someone to perform an action. Imperatives have no truth value and are not truth bearers.
Excellent. So example 4 is a bit queer, and yet it is also imperative. But an imperative that comes disguised as if it's interrogative, as if it's asking a question, but it's not a genuine question. So for an exam, I could ask you, this expression could be both imperative and interrogative. That's option A, if I'm doing MCQs for you, multiple choice questions. Yeah, it's both imperative and interrogative. Or B, is only interrogative. Or C, is only imperative. The answer is it could be both. Why? Because explicitly on the surface of it, overtly, openly, it comes with a question mark. So it presents as if it's an interrogative. See that? But implicitly, hidden in it, it is imperative. So it has a dual kind of representation. And that is what the critical mind must know. So when you are driving and someone says, hey, who the hell do you think you are? Don't park your car and get there and say, oh, please, I'm a child of God who has been bought by the pressure. You get a slap. They don't really ask you a question. You didn't read the intention well. The person is expressing an emotion. Who the hell do you think you are? Will come with a question mark. It is not asking for information. It is the person venting out an anger. If You are coming out of your surgical ward, and then a distraught husband whose wife, God forbid, went to operate on. You got the mother back, but the child isn't coming. You don't wish that, but these things happen. And the man is entering the way and saying, who is that doctor? Who is that doctor that operated on my wife? Who is that? Are you going to raise your hand and say, hello, sir, I am that doctor? Or you are going to run back into your room and lock it. The guy is hyper. It is emotion. He's not asking a genuine question. A critical mind gets into the mind through the speech. That is why we are learning speech acts. That's why we are learning sentences that shape our thoughts. So if I say, hey, who do you think you are? Don't stand and come and give me an answer. That who do you think you are? It's not a genuine question, at least for this instance. Okay. And so in the same way, if I say, should you not take off your cap whilst talking to your father? Don't say, yeah, I think I should take off my cap whilst talking to my father. I think I should give me information. The person is telling you to do, but he or she is doing it in a polite way. So that doesn't sound like take off your cap when talking to your father. But it says, could you please keep quiet? I want to hear your colleague. That is your lecturer addressing the class in a respectful way. Could you please keep quiet? Let me hear Sechibia. Don't say, yes, please, we could keep quiet for you to hear Sechibia. That response is a nuisance. You didn't read my intention well. I'm actually telling you, keep quiet. Could you keep quiet? I want to hear the president's speech on this. Say, oh, yes, I think I should keep quiet. And no. I'm telling you, keep quiet. But I didn't present it as a command. And so if you got that, you now understand explicit, implicit. For those expressions that come in a way that are not exactly one and not the other, but they present as something and yet could be the other. See that? So the explicit one is what is overtly presented, and the implicit one is what is covered, hidden, the covertly implied claim. You have such a good number of such as you progress. I will end with the last one there. Then the rest will be homework for you. Declaratives. Esther, your turn now. I've not forgotten. Very good.
Declaratives. Statements, proposition, assertion. A sentence that conveys information which can be either true or false, i.e., has a truth value or is a truth bearer. Should I
Very
read
good. Example. Yes, please read examples.
Okay, the example 2. Ghana has a new Speaker of Parliament.
Very good. Please don't continue.
Okay.
It's fine. So thank you very much. Ghana has a new Speaker of Parliament. Now you see that the first two interrogatives, which are also called questions, and then we just did imperatives and went through all the hula baloo around imperatives. The two of them don't bear truth. They don't have a truth value. They can't be true or false. You don't respond true or false to them. But for this one, declaratives, which has several other names, look at it: statement, proposition, assertion. This one. It is giving you information. Therefore, it can be either true or false. So interrogative seeks information. Imperative tells you to do. But declarative rather gives you information. And because declaratives give information, they convey information to the hearer. So the information being given to you could be either true or false. And so declaratives have a truth value. They are truth bearers. If I say Ghana has a new Speaker of Parliament, that can be true or false. If I say, how old are you? That cannot be true or false. Stand up cannot be true or false. So declaratives are sentences shaping our thoughts such that they convey information. If you got that, you see why Ghana has a new Speaker of Parliament. It's a declarative, and it is stating. Now notice that all the three we have mentioned are sentences. Why? Because it's a collection of words put together carrying a complete thought, so it's a sentence. But statements are a special type of sentence. That type which, apart from it being a collection of words carrying a complete thought, it also has a truth value. So declaratives have a truth value. They can be either true or false. Examples are on your screen for you to see. The slides are there for you to see. So if I say, give me rice and stew, let's start wrapping up. Give me rice and stew. Is it interrogative, imperative, or declarative? I want a chorus answer. Give me rice and stew. Unmute and respond. I see your microphones when you unmute. I see Annette's microphone. Give me rice and stew. Is it imperative, interrogative, or declarative? I want a chorus answer. Everyone, you unmute and respond. I see it. Very good. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. So give me rice and stew is imperative. Do it. Give me is imperative. Where is the rice and stew? What will it be? Chorus answers.
Interrogative.
Very good. Interrogative. Good.
Interrogative.
Yes, my lady. What about the rice and stew is delicious?
Declarative.
Good. Good. Now, how about if I said rice and stew? That's the problem. See, when I say rice and stew, they don't know where to put it because it's not enough. It's not a complete sentence. So you don't know where to place it, whether it is interrogating you or informing you or telling you to do. It's not clear because you are dealing with an incomplete sentence. So we call it a sentence fragment. That's what you see on my screen now. Rice and stew, what has it done? Morning dew. If only I got to Adu earlier, what would have happened? They are all incomplete. The dean of students in the University of Ghana. Yes, so what has he or she done? It's incomplete. All these are incomplete. Okay, so we call them sentence fragments. And then this one, where it is complete, the expression is complete, but it is not interrogating, it is not informing you, and it is not, what's the other one? Telling you to do anything. But it's complete. Like someone is falling down the stairs and say, ouch! Or Ajay. It's complete. He has finished. He didn't tell you to do anything. He didn't give information. He didn't ask you anything. Yet it's complete. That one is your emotions. The examples I gave you. Hey, who the hell do you think you are? You think it's a question? You are going to answer, oh, I am the president's daughter. You take slaps. The guy is angry. Or the sister is angry. Start running. When he comes out, he say, oh, please, sorry, I crossed you wrongly. That's fine. So these ones are what we call emotive expressions there on your screen. They also do not have a truth value because they are not stating, something that can be true or false. I want you to go and read around the 3 types of declaratives. Those types of linguistic expressions that convey information that have a truth value, the declaratives. There are 3 types of declaratives. Factual statement on your screen now. Value judgment on your screen now. I just projected that. And then definitions. See. I just want to use the examples I put over there to help you see. And then the rest is for your reflection. Then we'll delve a bit more into it when we meet next week. Still on sentence shaped thoughts. We are starting from the building blocks, the cells that we'll use to do our argument later. So we start from the cells, we'll go to tendons, then we go to organs and what have been put it together. And now look at the systemic running, digestive system, whatever. That's what we are doing, the method of learning. So we are starting with the starting point, determining statement and distinguishing it from non-statement, the ones that are not useful. Interrogatives, whatever, we take them out. Now when we get to statement, we look at the types. Then when we build arguments from statements, we look at types of argument and so on and so forth. Then now our critical thinking skills can be set to work. So I just want to look at 3 examples that will help your revision of the types of statement. If I said a bachelor is sitting under the tree, I have it in one of the slides. Let me find that quickly for you. Yeah, and that declarative. So let's use that one. See these three examples. Madam was going to read them. I said she should hold on. So example 3, 4, and 5 help us to know the three types of declaratives, and then you can go and munch on the examples I'll put in the slides for you. My lady Esther, please read example 3 now, 4 and 5. So examples 3, 4, and 5 to help us know the three types of declaratives, and then I'm done.
A bachelor is sitting under the tree. A bachelor
Good.
is
Example 4.
a bachelor is an unmarried adult male. The
Good. And the
bachelor
last one.
has a good conscience.
Very good. 3 ways of using. Look at all of them. A bachelor is sitting under the tree. A bachelor is an unmarried adult male. The bachelor has a good conscience. Now, 3 ways of conveying information. Sometimes when I give you information, I am stating a fact about the world out there. The fact can be true or false, but the truth or falsity depends not on my feelings or my opinions or my cultural beliefs or my religion. It is obvious out there, objective. Example, look at the factual one, the one we call factual. That man sitting under the tree, there is a bachelor. This is a verifiable statement by observation. Amma is a girl. You can use our 5 senses to verify. The car knocked down the boy. We can observe and tell whether it is a car that knocked down the boy, or it was a lorry, or it was a scooter. Okay? Whether the one that has been knocked down is a boy or girl, or a goat, or a table, etc. By observation, our 5 senses, either we are seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, remember empirical truth? Yeah. So we are able to establish factually. Factual means you use your 5 senses, whether this is true or false. Okay? And so it is not how I see it versus how you see it. No. We will agree on it because the matter is a factual matter, factually true or factually false. But if I said the wicked driver knocked down the innocent boy, this is it. Wicked driver knocked down the innocent boy. Now I'm no longer talking factually, because when we look out there, we don't see wicked. Wicked is what I make what I'm seeing. Innocent is what my interpretation is of what I am observing. So I may see innocence where another person is seeing the opposite of that. Okay. Another person's report of what he or she observed will be the innocent driver rather was crossed by the recalcitrant boy. The innocent secretary was sacked by the wicked boss. That is someone's interpretation because of the words I'm using. Innocent, wicked. They are not observed out there. They are a point of view of the one observing. So when we introduce words like that into an expression, we create value judgments. It's still declarative. It can be true or false, but the truth or falsity depends on who is doing the observation, their point of view. Amma is a beautiful girl. Beautiful is not in the object. It's in the eyes of the one doing the observation. The president is more corrupt than his predecessor or his opponent. Corrupt is not in the object. It's in the eye. That's why the one you call beautiful for another person is the ugliest lady on earth. But you will see beautiful because your eyes interprets what you see as beautiful. Okay. And so when we have value-oriented terms and we introduce them into our declaratives, it doesn't have objectivity. He's an infidel. Go ask 3 wives. That is dependent on the eyes. Infidelity is not in the object. Because that person having 3 wives that you call infidel, for another person or another person of a different faith, that is not infidelity. A medical person must be conscious of that. So you don't go and diagnose matters and impose your morality on another person. Okay? So if I say definitions, which is the third one, factual statement, value judgment, and now I just want to add definition. Definitions will give you the meaning of the word. So when I have a definition, I'm showing you how to use the word. Factual statement have objective truth, factually true or factually false. Value judgment have subjective truth. It depends on the subject doing the observation, because you are introducing value terms, and definitions give you the meaning of the unknown word. So back to that our slide. We would delve a bit more into the 3 types of declaratives. We will just go through the slides well, so that when I'm elaborating, we'll only be connecting dots and not hearing it for the first time. My lady Esther, please read it again, what you read earlier, and then let's ask ourselves which is which. So examples 3, 4, and 5.
Okay. A bachelor is sitting under the tree. A bachelor
4.
is an a bachelor is an a bachelor is an unmarried adult male. The bachelor has a good conscience.
Okay, well done. So let me ask the class now. If I asked you, which type of declarative will example 3 be? It says a bachelor is sitting under the tree. Is that a factual, a value judgment, or a definition? I want a chorus answer.
Factual.
Very good. It's a factual. Well done. It can be factually true or factually false. No two ways about it. Yes, it's a factual statement because we can observe to ascertain. It has nothing to do with I can't say that for me, bachelor is a table. Or me, when I see a snake, I think it's a belt. I have to go and live in the jungle. When I see lion, I say hello cat, and let's see if I'll survive. You see, so bachelor is sitting under the tree. We can objectively establish the truth or falsity of that claim you have made. If you go and it's a sister sitting there, that is wrong. We can say it's factually false what you said. Okay, so it's a factual statement, factually true or factually false, depending on the state of affairs out there. How about example 4? A bachelor is an unmarried adult male. Is it a factual definition or value judgment? All of us? Definition. Very good. Well done. Very good. So you will then see why example 5, the bachelor has a good conscience. That is not a definition and it is not a factual. What is it then, all of us?
Value judgment.
Value judgment. Very good. It's a value judgment because of the word good that we are using. When you use good, bad, wrong. Look, the brother, he says he's a good guy. Go and ask the lady that he left. He damned the lady yesterday and got you. You say, oh, he's a good guy. We really have a good guy. Ask that sister that he left whether he's a good guy. you hear things. You say that guy is the worst guy on earth. The same brother. You think he's good, the other person thinks he's bad because it's a value-oriented statement. Is wearing earrings okay? One person says good, another person is bad. If you ask the lady, should we leave our hair uncovered? Ask our fine Muslim sisters there whether that is fine. So no, we have to cover up. That is what is good. If you ask the other folks, you say, no, if you cover up, your beauty is hidden. These are the reason why we are touching on them is they are value-oriented. So they don't have objective truth. You see that? The truth or falsity depends on who you are engaging. You are a medical person, a physician, you are dealing with people, they come to you with their health. You have to be conscious of that. Otherwise, you will impose and it might create problems for you. I'll have some fine examples for us, some of them to laugh about and others to really be prompted about, intrigued by them and say, what? Yes, you don't go imposing. You want to give the person medication that has pork in it because the oil from it is good for the, she doesn't take pork. You have to respect that and give an alternative. That's the point I'm making. The person doesn't eat lobster. It's their faith or their belief, for example. Can you give an alternative medication that will still do what you're asking them to do? See that? You have to, because these are value oriented. It's not everything that is factually observable and agreeable. The person doesn't want to take blood transfusion. And you didn't get him or her to have that understanding. You say, oh, no, they will need the blood. Please forget everything else and put the blood in. Really? You are in deep trouble if you do that. So maybe you may want to have certain signages done during antenatal or what have you. That as for our hospital, this is our policy. If you come and you don't like this, we do this and do that. Because the person is entitled to their viewpoint about a matter, whether inspired by culture, by faith, by religion, etc. Otherwise, then effectively communicate to let the person see it your way and then agree to do it your way. That's fair, but not to impose it. I think I want to pause here. God willing, when we engage again next week, we will emphasize some things a bit more before we move on to lecture slide 2. Please make sure you are on the platform WhatsApp so that you don't lose out. I don't want anything to go through a particular person in case his phone goes off or for some reason he didn't have data or something. The whole class is quote unquote in a mess. Our class reps will front for us very well, but I want to reach my students directly. I do it everywhere I teach. I teach in the thousands, but I'm always on platforms hosting and attending to students. And so I want to do that. So if you're not on the platform that we have created, I created it and shared the link with your class rep to share with you. Please be on it. So if I have some recordings I want to share, if I have a prompt, okay, can we do our class so and so? Do you think you can do assignment this? I've posted this, then you reach me directly. It will be helpful to you and everyone else. I'm done. Do you have any questions, please? My WhatsApp number is on the platform there. And I'll share something so you can reach me directly. Just let me know if you are a family health person. I teach several campuses so that I don't misunderstand and respond as if I'm responding to distance education, for example, main campus. I'm telling you, your eye is on so and so, maybe yours is in weeks to come. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. And let's meet prepared. Hopefully, I think next week will also be online. If we have an in-person, I'll prompt, then we can have an effective session together. All the best and take care. Bye for now. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. See all the reactions here. Thank you all.
Thank you.
God bless you, Auntie.
Amen. Thank you. God bless you all too. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just waiting for my recording.
Thank you very much.
My recording to come that I can pull it out. Thank you too. Hope you had a good time. Thank you all. Okay, so we are sorted.